Got
What
it.
up?
Hey, who's joining us today?
This is Will.
Hi, Will.
Will Crypto to you.
Oh, sorry. So does your username say Will Crypto?
It says William Crypto.
That's interesting, because to me it shows up as your full name.
Oh, really?
Yeah, isn't that weird? It's
Yeah.
probably because like I added you as like a contact. So, do you see my screen?
I do.
But it's like wicked small, huh?
It is pretty small. I could probably, if I click on it and expand and turn my phone sideways, it's pretty normal.
Right. So I feel like I might have got scammed on VV.
Yeah. The fact that you had to buy the coin or whatever it was, the token, to be able to use to buy it seems kind of weird.
Yeah. I mean, they are connected to the OMI token that runs on the blockchain, and I could have bought OMI tokens and then swapped them over for gems, but apparently they're gonna allow you to move them off of there. But until they do that, you're kind of sitting here like, uh-oh. But I didn't get any of them today. It did not
I
work.
almost bought a Star Trek one the other day, the board cube,
Yeah.
but I didn't pull the trigger because I didn't want to buy. If they would have let me just pay with like a credit card or PayPal, I would have done it. But
Oh, really? Robert got the Borg one.
yeah,
Yeah.
2.
Oh, did you really?
Well, I don't know how I got the one that was a Star Trek, that little square thing. I think it's because nobody wanted it. But I went on and I clicked the thing and I got it. So I got it. But I think it's because it was, because when you look at it, it's just a big square block. And I got a common one or whatever. So I finally figured out the thing of that. I mean, that does make a difference on how much money you could get or something eventually if it becomes popular. Because like the secret rare, and then the rare, the ultra rare, then the rare, it kind of goes down in 20, 30, 40% increments until it gets to the common and stuff, which then it's, like if they're going to have 10,000 of them, the ultra rare one, there'll only be like 500 of them. So
Somebody's moving their phone a lot.
what do you mean? It's in my hand.
Oh.
What's that mean?
Nothing. It's loud.
It's loud.
There's a button. There's a button on there you can hit that under settings. Near the bottom it says noise suppression.
On the bottom of where?
I have to boot up my VPN because I can't get on this exchange in the States.
What exchange?
Gate.io.
So what meta crypto are you looking into, Jared? Is it Avalanche? Is that one of them?
I got that one actually. Did you see that?
No. Or did you buy it a while back?
Well, last week I bought it at 78 cents.
What's it up to now?
95.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it was
I think I'll probably try to buy because most of those you can get on Coinbase right now, I think.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I spent 3,000 3,000 and it's up to 3,700.
Cool. Yeah, I'll probably
98.
pick up some of that and maybe some Filecoin. I want to buy some of that. I took a screenshot of somebody that I follow on Twitter, and they talked about their buy list for cryptos related to Meta, and Filecoin was on it, and that Bitcoin Oracle guy, Vinny, starts with an L.
Okay.
He is a huge proponent of Filecoin, and has quite the track record of being correct about
Really?
stuff. So he's big on Filecoin and Solana.
So what's
So
Filecoin going to do in the metaverse?
it's all about storage, right? You're gonna have to have
Oh,
storage.
what's their ticker? FIL?
Yes.
$62.
Check the chart on it.
That sucker ain't cheap. It's the third most expensive one.
Yep. Now, Aave, I know that Mark Cuban's been involved in Aave coin.
Is the chart good on this? Oh, it's a good time to buy.
Yeah, it could potentially spike again like it did way back a couple months ago.
To $100. $116? That's a good one just within the last 90 days.
Yeah.
$200 within the last year. That sounds like a good buy. Ooh, it's on Binance too?
I don't know. I don't use Binance much, but
Well, shoot, I'm going to PooCoins then.
Just because it's down from 200 to what is it at right now?
60.
It could also mean that it's made what it's going to do and it's going to stay down there for a long time.
How long?
I don't know. I mean, that's where you got to investigate and look at a chart and read because bottom line is all this stuff, no matter what anybody wants to think, is human nature. And the candles is human nature. 90% of this is that's the way people think. And that's what, unless you're really lucky and you get to know somebody that's like, which I don't know, who's this other guy, William, if he's a sports person. What we need is an insider that's, that knows stuff that these companies are doing before they come out, before the news is actually out. That's ways.
I'm not really on the train for meme coins. I'm more of actually building portfolio of things that have utility and function and sit on them for 5 or 10 years. I'm not trying to take shortcuts and the get rich overnight thing.
Yeah,
I think that's how you end up going bankrupt and losing a bunch of money.
You can, yeah. There's no doubt about that. And if you're in it for 5 to 10 years and you're willing to hold things, unless you just buy something at the 200 and 200 is the high, but if you think it's a good project like a Bitcoin or something like that, almost no matter what you pay for Bitcoin right now, 10 years from now, you probably won't be sorry.
Yes, I try to tell people that at my work all the time, but they're like, it's so expensive. I'm like, yeah, you say that.
Well,
it's not
10
expensive.
Years. The way they're looking at it, it is expensive, but it's not expensive because you can buy $5 of it. And so if you want to buy one coin, it's daggum expensive, but you don't have to start there. That's the other thing. 200% is 200% of a penny is the same percentage of going up as 200% of a dollar. It's just the amount of money is different. So, but that's definitely one way of doing it if you're in it for 5 to 10 years. But if you're in it for a quick gain, you got to go by what the human emotions are at the time, and that is the candles is telling a story. But
I also don't have like the time to like watch charts so much, and I'm not smart enough to do like the programs for stop loss trading and all that kind of stuff to get all those things set up. So I'd rather be confident what I'm buying, that it's going to be around in 5 or 10 years, and that if it has utility now, and it looks like that's potentially where it's going, you have potential for something to be like a lottery pick, right? So shotgun approach, $500 here, $500 there, and then let it sit for 10 years. The odds are something you pick is going to be pretty big.
yeah. So what are you buying, Jared? Jared,
Verify now.
are you there?
Yeah, what's up?
Nothing. Did I scare him away?
No. This is the life of many children in our life, right?
Who is that guy?
That's the one in Kentucky. I don't want to say too much because you never know who in this group can be listening, and it's
Yeah.
recording.
Okay.
You don't know. Don't know if he can share who he wants to be, you know? To us, he's Will Crypto. What's on TV? Yellowstone.
No, well, no, that's a commercial for Yellowstone because Yellowstone is big right now. I'm kind of trying to watch a football game and listen to you. And
all right, so
Flora's sick, and
it's saying that I have to complete KYC, but it didn't tell me what my limits are.
On what? KuCoin?
On this exchange I'm on.
Well,
I hate that these coins are on all these random exchanges all over the world. Like, I hate that they can't be on, not necessarily Coinbase, but they can't be on like an international exchange, and everybody goes there for that.
Well, you know what we need to do to a certain extent? When I find out from this one thing, when I watch it, and now that you have KuCoin, can you buy it on a phone?
Yeah.
Just try one of them with $100. So it's a real thing, and we don't pretend ourselves and see, you know, because it does take because I was reading some of the comments on the thing because the people were going, yeah, you're just trying to sell this one thing, because he would say, well, if you're in my group, you get these before that. And then some people go, well, I'm not in the group. And yeah, it's a lot of these things that he has done. It's up 10, 15% or maybe 20%. But I've got in on them, and they've gone up 50% from there. So
yeah.
I mean, getting in on some of the ones before the thing, I mean, I just can't see, the guy goes, well, 1 or 2 trades and you've paid for my thing for the year.
So $560 will get me 700,000 of these coins.
What coins?
So if I want 1 million of them, the coins I posted in the group.
Oh.
So $800 will get me $1 million. You don't have enough balance. Oh, I gotta get USDT. So I gotta deposit Tether.
See, and the one thing that sounds like what he's doing is a long-term approach, kind of like that's a Warren Buffett approach. Buy a good company and hold.
Yeah.
And as soon as it's not a good company, you dump it. Did you see
Yeah.
where Elon Musk sold $11 billion of his own stock?
Yeah.
One guy goes, well, they do tell you to get out at the top. He said, so bottom line is anybody that's still in is not paying attention to the guy that owns the company because he thinks that it's at the top.
What a mess.
I mean, because why would you sell $11 billion if you think it's going to go up more?
I don't know.
But you
I
can
don't know
never
how
tell.
much.
You can never tell what he's doing.
I heard that was process to happen a long time ago, like months ago, and then he just was making jokes about it, like he's going to do it. But some people already knew it was already in the works, and he was playing everybody.
Yeah, but I do find it funny that him and Jeff Bezos, between the two of them, have sold like $25 billion worth of their stock lately.
Well, maybe they know something we don't.
Well, I'm pretty sure they do.
Well, then we need to be selling everything right now.
Well,
unless they're buying crypto.
That might not be. You know why? My first thought was they know the dollar is not going to be worth a daggum, so they're getting out and putting it in other stuff that might not be attached to the dollar.
True. Could be.
So, but yeah.
So I gotta get. I can't use Coinbase Pro on my Safari anymore.
Why?
I have no idea. It's some app, some stupid update that my computer did.
Oh man, if that happens to me, I'm screwed.
Yeah, I have to use Brave, which isn't that big of a deal, but
I mean, so I'll still be able to get Coinbase Pro?
Yeah, you can still use it. It's just
see, that's why I hate updates.
Right?
I mean, really.
Everything's fine and dandy, and then you do an update and you just lost everything.
And then nothing works right.
Right.
I did some update, and then I wanted to do something, and it wouldn't let me do it, and I updated it and let me do it. But the other stuff that I was really comfortable with, now I have to relearn it.
Yeah. So I can't buy I can't buy Tether on Coinbase Pro. This is a disaster. So I have to buy Ethereum and send Ethereum to. This is freaking ridiculous. To Binance to get Tether. No. Yeah. Asset, I need Tether. From Ethereum.
See, now look now I just looked at Bitcoin just now.
Yeah.
It's 65.7, so it's falling back down in that little below that thing where it's going to bounce around a little bit. And until it gets to that, it moves up into that other echelon, if you want to call it that, 67.8 to 68, whatever. What was the high? I think it was almost 69,000, wasn't it? Let's see. Bitcoin all-time high. Let's see.
Oh,
In
they
the
do have USDT on here?
last year. Yeah, 1 month. Yep, 69,000 exactly is what Coinbase. That's not exactly what it was, but that's close enough. So it's like 4,500, $3,500 away from the time to high.
Oh. They do have Tether on here.
Oh, Ruth Ann just sent me a picture.
Did you know they have Tether on here?
On where?
On Coinbase?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew
Oh.
that. I mean, if you had a, yeah, I was a little surprised since it's a competitive coin. Is it not?
Yeah, it's going to cost me 10 cents to buy $1,000 worth.
But then again, since it's a competitive coin and it's used a lot, I guess they figure, well, we can make a little money off of it.
A bunch of greeds. Okay.
You okay, baby?
There we go.
Yeah. Huh? Go back to sleep.
All right.
I know. I woke up to go to the bathroom.
So now I got.
Can I wake you up?
Withdrawal.
No, I think I will.
Watch it be a different version though. That's going to be my luck. Okay, I have 1,000. Wow, I can withdraw $250,000 on my Coinbase account. Enter USDT address.
The more you have, the more you can do.
All right. Oh my. There's so many USDT addresses. Omni chain, Ether chain, BSC chain, EOS chain, Hiko chain, Solana chain, Polygon chain, or Tron chain. You've got to be kidding me. You don't pay attention to one coin for 5 minutes and it's so confusing.
And you semi-understand it. Just think about somebody like me. None of this stuff, I mean, it's just, they make it so complicated. It's kind of like I was telling Flora, sometimes when you're talking, it's kind of like if you go golfing with me and I ask you to hand me my spoon. Do you know what that is?
No idea.
You have no clue. Well, I do, though. So, you know, but it's an old-timey term that was from way back when, before they had numbers on clubs. And they called them names. But, you know, so, and you're talking, I mean, I finally figured out the ping when we both Flora and I were sitting there, and you said, well, you need to find out the ping. When we hung up from you, we going around the corner from picking my drugs up. We got or my medicine. We're going, what the crud is a ping?
Right?
Now I semi-understand it. It's kind of like a
$13 just to leave Coinbase. You're greedy. Okay, I figured out the address. I just did the old school copy paste way. So Coinbase is running off their Ether network.
Oh, gosh.
So here goes $1,000 from Coinbase. See, that's the thing. Back in the day, you used to be able to test this stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Because you could send $10 somewhere and be like, oh, it didn't get there. Whoops. Let's try again. You send $10 somewhere, you got to spend $10 to send it. You're better to just like wait until you're confident. Stupid.
Do you see what I mean? That's why I don't do any. And you go, just go ahead and use metaverse, whatever that, not metaverse, what is it, Metafox or whatever? What is that one? What is that? Is it Metafox or what is it?
MetaMask.
MetaMask. Just go ahead and use that MetaMask. Sure, I'm going to click that button. It's going to go in cyberspace and be there forever. And then it lands in some guy's mailbox 2 days from now. And he goes, well, I wonder where I got that $5,000 from.
Why can't we just be that lucky?
Did you hear about some guy that did get all that got a ton of money into his thing? I'm telling you, I might not have took it all, but I would have took some of it. I would have took $1 million out immediately. I would have put it into cash.
He did what?
Some guy got on it somehow in his account somewhere. It was like $6.8 million.
That somebody sent to the wrong address.
Did something, and I'm thinking, oh man, I would, I would.
So how did somebody contact him and say?
Yeah, somehow it got resolved. I can't remember how it got resolved, and I'm thinking I would, because I've lost money in this daggum thing from a crook and other stuff. I would just have took some of it and go, well, they go, well, what? That's just be a nice fee. I could just keep it. There's not a way for them to get it back if you don't send it to it, is it?
Right. No.
I mean, so.
Yeah.
But,
that's pretty
it's kind of
insane.
like, it's kind of like being in one of those quandaries. You think you're going down the road and you find this bag, and in this bag, there's like $1 million. And some people go, well, you should go turn it in. And I'm looking at it like this. Well, it's probably drug money, so I'll just keep it.
It's a little different. It's more like somebody dropped the money off at your house.
Well, that's true.
And didn't leave a note.
They left it on your front porch like
Yeah.
UPS.
Certified mail.
So.
All right. So far, I've already spent $13 in fees for my $1,000. Now is only $986.
And
Let's see how many more. What?
What's the fee to get the coin?
Right. So currently, I'm in Ireland.
$200.
I'm in. I'm connected to Ireland, running this exchange on a gate.io that I just signed up for while I've been on this call, hoping to get 1 million of these star coins. Here's the other problem. Does CoinMarketCap tell you where to keep these things?
What do you mean where to keep them?
Like, you can put it on my MetaMask or your wallet.coinbase.com. That sounds like a bad idea.
You mean that new Coinbase wallet?
Oh, this is Filecoin. Dang it. I'll follow that.
Are you talking about that new Coinbase wallet?
Yeah.
I've read about 4 reviews where people go, I lost my money. I mean, and they won't get back to me. So I did. I read the reviews, and I'm well, I'm not going to do that. If there's people that have been using MetaMask, that one guy goes, I've used all these things, and he goes, I thought it was pretty good for the first month. Then when I went to get on and I signed up, and when I signed in, nothing was there. And I go, well, no, thanks. I'm not going to do that. If somebody that knows what they're doing, I don't understand why they all can't be as easy as Coinbase Pro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like these people are trying to create a system that they're trying to make a new mousetrap when there's a really good one out there. I mean, you know, and I think Coinbase just kind of copied like, you know, these, what is it, Scott Trade and all those things. They kind of all use the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, and Weeble, you know. So
My MetaMask isn't working right now.
the other thing I noticed today when those things is they have a problem with that Veeb right now with the marketplace. It was down again today.
Really?
Yep.
Oh,
It's
yeah. Is it still down?
No, it's up now. But it's I've noticed whenever they're after about the second when they're doing those drops during the day, the
Yeah.
marketplace goes down. Well, where'd this little I didn't see this little helicopter. Where's the helicopter from? Animated helicopter. It's $2,000.
Robert, it says digital collectibles. It doesn't say they're NFTs.
I understand that. I thought that's kind of what an NFT was to a certain extent. It
is, but they didn't say it's nowhere does it ever say it's an NFT.
Which I don't know what that means. Does that mean you can never take it off? Like an
I don't know.
An NFT is something you can. I don't know.
An NFT is a token. NF, the letter T for token, right?
Yeah, not
a token has an address that you can verify and put it in your wallet. It's not an NFT because it's not a token. It's a digital collectible inside of their marketplace with their fictitious numbers of gems, which you can't even get out.
Okay, well.
And I aped into this thing like it was the next sliced piece of Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, well, it's a lesson learned.
With almost $4,000.
You might get your money back. And I might get my money back. I don't know. I do have a little bunny, and if not, I have a little bunny that I can take a picture of and said, "Look, I got scammed on this."
And here's
and here's my little square of the scar. You know what I bought, don't you? You know when there's Star Wars and they go into this and the rocket ships are going into a place and coming out of it. That's what I bought.
In Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
No, you bought it for Star Trek.
It was?
Yes.
Hold on. Let me see.
Will was about to buy the same thing. That's what he was saying.
A bog cube. And, you know, I didn't pay that much money for it, but I think the only reason I got it was because nobody. It is Star Trek. So, well, you had the little RDT. You had those things, and I'm going, oh, there's the thing they flew into. I'll get that.
Right. So is the marketplace up right now?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
I'll refresh the app. Okay, so it says my deposit is ready. So let me go back to the markets. What a mess.
What deposit? Oh.
Now I got to remember the coin I had. Oh, Starlink trade. And then I can take it off of here and send it to my MetaMask. So that's nice. It's a good thing CoinMarketCap exists because it tracks everything where I have all this crap. Oh, there it is, $986. Okay.
And this coin is how much?
0.00008. And earlier today it was 0.4. So it's
So
already
here,
like,
I've come up with my own system on the zeros now
oh boy.
because it's so complicated. Now you have to, when I'm writing it down, I go 7 and the number. So I know that 7 is the first number is how many zeros that it's at, you know. For
So hold
instance,
on. I need to do a spot trade.
well, spot is what it's like is a market trade.
Okay, and then it says limit order, grid trading, or time condition.
Well, a limit order would be you can limit, at least my view of what limit order is in the stock world is you're putting a specific price in there, and when it hits that, that's when it's buys. But if it never hits that, it can miss it by 1/10 of a cent, and you're not going to get it.
So I just need to buy that market and move along.
Yeah, the downside of buying something in the market is that you could push a button when the spike goes up, and it was, I mean, that can happen, but that's the risk you take. Or it can be on a spike down too, you know. But most of the time, that's not what happens. I think that we're pretty much not even at break even at category.
Oh, okay, so I can select last price plus 1%, 3%, or 5%.
Well, 1%'s a lot. Even, I mean, if it's a dollar, 1% of a dollar is a penny. So I guess if you're buying it and it's at that many things, it would be a couple of little ticks of a number down there.
Well, it's doubled today.
And you're buying it even though it's doubled?
Yep. Because remember, in the grand scheme of things, it ain't going to matter.
Well, yeah, if it continues to go up, but say Bitcoin takes a dump down by $4,000 tomorrow because of the CME gap.
Are you saying I shouldn't buy this right now?
No, I'm just saying that, there's that.
Hold on, Robert. My finger's on the button. You think it's okay?
Well, like you said, in the grand speak of things, but you do understand the CME gap with Bitcoin and stuff,
Oh
right?
my gosh. I'm about to hit the freaking button, and now you're telling me about a gap that I'm missing out on.
Not that you're missing out on, it's just that statistically, the gaps get filled. Sometimes it's within 2 or 3 days, sometimes it's within 2 months, but they do get filled.
And this can double again tomorrow.
And it could double again tomorrow. So with what your view is, I would probably hit the thing.
Okay, I just hit it. Input password. This is a pain in the butt.
I'm glad to hear you say that. And what you're doing. How do you think somebody like me that just, and it would take me so long because I wouldn't be doing this every day. I have to do something a lot. It took me a year and a half or so to just get comfortable with Coinbase. Then another year.
Now I have an order up for it to hit 82, and now it's at 83. That's
so
great.
you won't get it unless it hits 82.
Right.
Well, somewhere down the line.
So just let it sit here for a minute.
Well, since I can't see what you're actually doing.
I wonder if I can send you this chart.
Is it moving up and down at all?
Oh yeah.
And
It's about to hit 84.
what is it on a PooCoin thing?
Here, I'm gonna send this link to the
Hold
group.
on.
See if you can get that.
Well, no, I need a live, so where it's
There
live.
you go. Yeah, it's live. This is that. There you go. That's what I'm on right now. There's got to be a sell order soon. It's been going up for the last 8 minutes, all green.
Hold on. What?
There's a sell. Come on.
See, I don't see where it's.
Did you click on the link?
Jared.
Oh, I gotta email it to you or what?
Well, I mean, there's all I have is a black screen, and it's you listening and me talking right now.
Oh, you have to go to your messages.
How do I do that?
Wow, this
Like
is insane.
like a text message?
No, Telegram messages. Here comes a dump. Here it comes. Come on. 82.4, 82.3, 82.5. Oh, come on.
When it's doing a limit, it don't let you do a specific amount. You got to do it like 1% or something like that.
No, it let me do a sort of specific amount. $82.4. Now let's get back into buy. 82.2. Jiminy crickets. How much volume is this moving today on this market? Is this on Masario? We need to see if it's on there.
Come on. Where's Telegram? There's Telegram. Where's the messages?
STARL. They don't have it on Masari. I'm going to look it up. This is insane. They've moved $45 million on here in the last 24 hours.
I can't
Take
wait
an order,
to
man. Now it's the green arrows again.
get my eyes so I can see stuff again. X.
These are $10,000 buys and sells. This is insane. $100,000 sells.
If you're doing, how long's it been out?
A year. These are $100,000 sell Roberts getting eaten up by $5,000 buys.
But you've got to.
Holy crap!
Did you look it up and see how much percentages one person holds?
Nope.
Looking at the chart, at this little that I can see of it, and I don't know what this chart is. It's as far as USD, and is it a 30-minute chart or is it?
So, OXEX, the exchange, holds 20%. The one exchange I'm on holds 5%. Another exchange holds 3%. Another exchange I'm on holds 2.5%. The Dow holds 2%. Uniswap holds 1.7%. And then starts the contract to 1.4%. Which is their official token.
What is the chart? What is this chart? What chart is this on? Who is putting the chart out?
Gate.io.
But I wonder who they're using. They're not using their own.
Yeah, they are. Oh, my order must have gone through because it just hit 81. There we go. Yay!
Like that.
What?
Hold on, I'm going to look at something real quick.
It's too late. I already got it. Don't make me feel bad.
No, I'm not talking about that particular one.
Oh, now it's going to tank down to 0. All right. So now I want to withdraw this coin.
See, that Chronicle thing is down to 73 cents. And it's on a downward trajectory for this last day. Let's see, for the hour, it's within a 2-cent range. And then, but for the day, it's lower and lower and lower. Yeah. It wouldn't have been a good thing if we had did that.
Did what?
Well, I mean, we would be, it's where it's at. But right now, just looking at that one that we were looking at, if you look at, and this is looking at a very small chart, but it is for the day. It's lower. It's doing lower highs all the way down this day time frame. Buy with Coinbase. You know, all these coins that they're definitely, all these things that got into this stuff at the beginning, probably for a reason, to help crypto.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're into this stuff just to make freaking tons of money.
Who is?
All these things. Buy with Coinbase wallet. All these coins. That's why,
yeah.
You know, because you can look all these coins up and it used to say not supported with Coinbase. Now you go to it, it goes buy with Coinbase wallet. Don't say it's not supported by Coinbase.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody that's new is going to go on here and buy it on that wallet and lose their money because I hear it's no good.
Mm-hmm.
Until they figure, you know, which I don't know how you can have one thing that works really good and start something else unless you just rushed it because you want to make money. And it really is not at 100%. And they go, well, let's just get the thing out there so we can make money. We'll figure out the problems later. Oh, well.
I need to know if I can send this to my Ethereum address. Great. And I can't test send coins either.
You can for $15.
No, it's like not this exchange. Now I'm in their Telegram asking if I can send my star to my MetaMask Ether account using my ETH address. And the answer is yes.
Who is answering you back?
Some random person. I love this community. So now I'm going to take $1,000 that this cat just said I can do and pray and hope with a prayer that it goes somewhere. Because I asked some random bimbo on Telegram, which I'll never talk to again,
Well, no, and he's actually sitting there doing a crack pipe. Or he was watching Kansas City football game and somebody did something good and he goes, yeah.
Robert, I need to upload this onto my YouTube. I'd get 1 million views.
On what?
Me and you.
Oh.
I'm recording this.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's processing. Let me see how many coins I actually get after the end of all this and what they're worth.
Here's the other thing is, Jared, we might not want to have too much of this stuff because of certain things going on in the world.
What do you mean?
The certain entities in this country wanting to know where everything
Yeah, he's telling everybody he's in Ireland. He's clearly not in Ireland. I don't know. You know, there's a lot of people on YouTube that do that.
Do what?
They use VPNs and they're in America and they tell everybody I'm using a VPN.
Yeah.
All right, so now I'm going to go over here and click on my, oh my goodness, it arrived. It's here. It's nowhere close to the number that I bought, but it's here.
Well, how much is it? How much did you lose?
I love this stuff.
Is that a fee?
Yeah, they took a fee to oh man.
To move it to MetaMask?
Yeah.
How much of a fee?
I don't even know, man. I thought I was buying 1 million. I guess I was only buying 100,000. But whatever. I'll buy more if it tanks, right?
Well, that's one way of doing things, and it worked out with me on.
But I was only going to do $500 and ended up throwing $1,000 into it. All right, so my number is 11,106,748, but I'm not going to be able to get that amount out because it's going to be fees on the way out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to move this into another portfolio, and it's going to be called Meta Purchased.
I'm about to fall asleep here.
All right, well, I'm almost done.
Well, that's because I'm normally asleep somewhere close to this time, and then I wake up in about an hour and a half.
So this one is STRAL. STRARL. I love it. Okay, price per coin. How many did they get? What did I say? 11. Um, 11,106,748. 11,106,748. Okay, and how much did I pay per coin? And what was my fee? At least $13. Oh, it was way more than $13 because I sent in. This is the hardest part. You love this part, but I hate this part. Trying to track what you bought these coins at.
Yeah, and I used to be I'm getting older, and and I'm sitting there, and my dad asked me, and I'm doing this and that, and I write something down, and then today I was looking at something, and I go, what the crud was I thinking? I need to get to where it's just a line. I'm a bullet point person.
So did I get it at? Oh, my trades. Okay, here we go. I bought 120,000, but I only received 111. So now I need to go and figure out how much I actually lost, right? And then do that math. So I bought 100 and that, but I only received that. This is a pain in the butt.
Well, here's the way it should be, Jared. And somebody needs to tell these people this. If you want 1 million of something, you go, I want 1 million of these coins. And then they go, okay, it's going to cost you this. And then the extra, the fee is on top, and it's $1 a coin.
Oh my gosh, I lost 92,000. I bet I did try to purchase 1 million. Comma. 1, 2, 3, comma, 1,000. 100,000. It was 1 million. What? $75.35. That I might have just done Uniswap. And now the coin's tanking. Are you watching the chart?
I can't. I mean, I can. I got to find that thing again. Hold on.
So $75 plus the $13. Whoops. Should do this in my head. $88 in fees.
See, is that 30 minutes or is that 3?
Comma. 1, 2, 3, comma. I only got 11,000, but I put an order in for. I put an order in for 12 million. No.
And you. Yeah, I can see that thing, Jared, but
No. Okay. I put an order in for 12 million and I got 11.1 million.
okay.
And 92,000 of these flipping coins went to fees. I spent $88 between Coinbase and Starlink just to get fees. It cost me, so in MetaMask, and then add a note. This is insane.
Well, see, part of the thing is, you see this chart that you're looking at?
Yep.
It looks like it's a 30-minute chart. So when I'm looking and trading view without paying for it, the lowest thing you can look at is a minute. So I look at the minute chart a lot to see what it is right now that something is doing. But people that trade currencies and these forex things, what they buy these charts that you can look at stuff by the second, because it makes a difference on if you make money or lose money in those arenas. But see, you're looking at this chart, and it's hard to tell what it's really doing, because it's, especially for me, because it's so small. But the only thing you would see would be the little wick, because it's a 30-minute candle. So the whole candle the wick would move up. Where if you had a way to set that to a minute, which on TradingView you can, but it don't look like there's any place for you to.
But
do
that's
that.
just absurd, the amount of fees. Then they basically got destroyed on fees on the way exit. So
Right.
Coinbase wants you to keep their money in there, and this exchange wants you to keep their money in there.
Right.
Everybody
Well,
wants you to keep the money.
no, actually, I don't think they do. I think they want the fees. I mean, and they've just got to a thing because look, you got all these fees, and it's I don't know how Robinhood does it and how Webull does it, but people say, well, you're still paying a fee.
For what?
When you buy
Oh,
from
on
Webull or
Robinhood?
Robinhood, but
Oh yeah,
when
they hide that. They hide it so good. Think
But-
about all the math I just had to do just to figure out what my fees were.
yeah, but Jared, when I'm going on there, when I was buying like Shiba, I bought Shiba on Webull. I bought it at the same thing and then I turned around and went right to Coinbase and bought it, and it was the same thing. I had to pay a fee at Coinbase. I didn't at the thing, and I actually got a little cheaper from Webull. It was at 6.8, where when I finally got over to Coinbase, it was 7.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the zeros and a 7, and on the thing it's zeros and a 6.8. But
Okay, well,
Well-
my metaverse portfolios officially has 2 coins in it. My Avalanche and my Starlink, and
well,
And-
I know I won't be buying any Starlink anytime soon.
not with that price, huh?
Well, no, it's not. It's the price. I mean, there's no chance I would be able to do it. You would have to do it, and it's aggravating.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And the price is already dropped down to 80 instead of 82. So I'm officially at a loss of $17. My holdings are now only worth $893, and I moved $1,000.
Yeah.
It's been a very successful night.
Well, hold on.
We'll see you all tomorrow.
Let's see if there's been let's see if there was a.
I don't even want to look at the chart.
I'm not looking
it's
at
going
that chart.
straight down.
I'm not looking at that chart.
All right, I gotta stretch.
All right. Talk to
It's
you
been
later.
great.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
How do you get out of this thing now?
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
I'll click it off.